Mm-hmm. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on what time zone you're in or what time you watch this video. Today we're back with Knox and Ren. And things have been so chaotic that I've barely had time to sit down, but I could not wait to finally sit down and listen to this one. This is Fentanyl by Knox and Ren. Hope that you're all doing well. Love you all. Let's jump right in, shall we? Let's go.
Conscious rap was vibing, but they said it wasn't selling. So instead of tribe, the question was for highs, I guess I get it. But we sold our de la souls and reassigned the proper metrics. Violent rap survived and Darwinized the prophet zealots. Survival of the fittest. Trade your bars for gems and you'll be shining, that's the realest. In this climate of addiction style, Big Pharma is the realest. Now as long as pills are filling, you ain't really gotta feel the sound. The world is full of juice.
Oh my God, bro.
You've been finna drown how many rappers out here missing out. But they sell you with this vision and this fear of missing out. The industry will fuck us, so we follow what is trending. Brag about these hollow tips, but it's all hollow tip dependent. I lace my verse with fentanyl and lean into attention. Toe tags for the mentions, body bags for what they spending. While they bragging, we descended from the ground, we all descendants now.
Sinners don't sleep in this broken town, trading their souls for some golden brown. Feel the release, come back down. But when I'm coming up, killers on the city streets bagging it up. Crooks and addicts with habits get rushed. We living in vain just to end it all, and I spend it all on the fentanyl.
My cousin
oh
was
my
a pitch
God, bro. Holy Jesus. Oh my God. It's wow. One, I love the imagery. Like, the imagery is crazy. There's so much happening. Like, when Survival of the Fittest got said, we got a shot of National Geographic where we're seeing two different animals kind of colliding, to show like that it really does become almost like a battle on the streets. But beyond that, I love how we tie in kind of the idea that you're sold the dream that, you know, by selling and like hustling drugs that eventually you'll reach the top, right? But it goes beyond that, because he also connects it to the idea that we, like, artists end up selling almost what feels like their soul to also do the same thing, to reach the top. And all of these become these addictions that you rely on. So whether it's actually the drugs and like the addiction to those that you have that kind of carry you through, or it's the addiction to kind of the fame. And it almost is great to parallel those two, because they are kind of one and the same. It really does become this addiction of your mind being kind of chaotic without those. And so you're always seeking the next draw. And I love that, like, when Ren comes in, the first little part where he starts speaking, it's almost like unsettling, because he's talking just under Knox, and it creates this, like, the dissonance that exists within your mind when you start kind of getting lost into these habits of, like, that fear that you have of being part of that addiction, and then that also, like, the drive for the next one, and just hoping for more, and all that kind of, that dissonance that's going on. We get that replicated in the vocal layering of the song itself. And then when Ren comes in, we get this shot of like Knox actually coming up to a dealer and kind of taking his hit, but it's laced, and he ends up kind of being robbed, which does happen, because people who are suffering from these addictions, like, they will do anything. And sometimes on the street, you don't have, it's not like a pharmacy. It's not like, everything's not measured, right? Everything's not perfectly secure. And so you might end up losing your life just trying to kind of stay above that high that you're almost like addicted to. And then he even mentions that in the pharmaceutical industry, it's the same thing, because you get pushed these drugs, and ultimately sometimes it even leads you down the path to looking for illegal sources for those drugs. But ultimately, even in the pharmaceutical industry, a lot of the times, like, you start taking pills for things that are that you need, but eventually it becomes this dependency that is hard to shake off. And it's almost like you're lost because you were trying to get better through an avenue that was supposed to be completely legal and totally okay, but it puts you down this path that's, you can't shake. We're a minute in. Oh my God. And I love the use of colors. Like, it's like black and white, but it's really not. And then also, like, these moments where you get of Knox kind of explaining the hardships. It's like blue, almost like you're drowning under the weight of it all. Bro, holy. Oh, and the beat. It has like this choral church, like almost like John Wick like sound to it, and that is what the battle inside feels like. It's like you're going to war with yourself. And we even had a shot of a tank, I think, at the start, which almost caters to that as well. And a lot of this does feel like a battle, but it's beyond that. Even that power is an addiction that people have, and these wars that we see around the world, it really is because people are just obsessed with power. Holy smokes, bro! This chorus was bomb.
My cousin was a pitcher on that curve. He got that scholarship on campus. He's the man. Throwing heat as he was hot as shit, but then he hurt his arm. Senior year's time to prove it. Started taking painkillers so he could play and keep it moving. Scouts watching, couldn't lose him, so he took more and he kept using. Before he knew it, he's abusing fastballs and two seams.
That's
Clean, but now he's losing weight. Drug test he failed, so they kept him off the team. He tried to kick the habit, but he's mad that he had lost his dreams. He's sad, but he got off the lane. But all it takes is one reminder. In his mind, he couldn't help it. He was trying to finally settle. Midnight, he went outside. He was fighting with his devils. One hit, he told himself, it'll help me through this hell. I know I'm sick and I need help, but one hit, man, what the hell? So he lit it, then he took it to the face. But as the story goes, you know that fentanyl is lace.
Oh, bro.
In this broken town, trading their souls for some golden brown. Feel the release, come back down. But when I'm coming up, killers on the city streets, buying it up. Crooks and addicts with happy escape rush. We living in vain just to end it all. And I spent it all under fentanyl.
Oh shoot, bro! Knox getting into this vulnerable space of like giving us his story. Whoa, it's so red over here. I'm gonna go back a bit. Sorry, of giving us his story of, I think it was his cousin that, and it's done so beautifully, because this is exactly what we were just talking about. That sometimes like you start taking medicines thinking that this is the way to get healthy, and then you end up almost addicted to the medicines because it's just so potent and powerful, and the addiction that your brain creates is so strong. And he mentions that his cousin, who was throwing heat, which is so dope because he's pitching, but then throwing heat in his arm because it's heating up like it's in pain, and then he ends up taking like prescription drugs to lower that pain, but to keep up with his dreams he ends up having to do more and more, and it becomes this addiction, loses a scholarship, loses a position, eventually just diving into the addiction itself. One more, that's all I need, and that's the one that was laced and ultimately cost him his life. And that's so freaking tragic. But that's exactly what happens, right? It's like you get lost in the hole, and you just think, yo, listen, last one more time. And then you end up just, you never know. You never know when the last time will actually be. And whether it's a last time by your choice or a last time by fate, you don't know. But I just realized too, like there's so much, like when Knox is talking, there's a lot of like imagery flashing in, and then when Ren comes in, it's a lot more stable, and it's almost like Ren is the dealer and the chorus is the dealer, which is like the addiction that you keep coming back to, because the chorus repeats through the song itself, and like that's the feeling of, okay, now I got to go back and get my hit, and you're getting the hit from the chorus, and then that's the dealer who's so stable. But then when it's Knox, all these images flash through his mind, these thoughts and these ideas and these like controversial feelings inside of him that are banging against one another, and that's all the imagery that's flashing through it as he tells the story. Bro, holy. And then we drop to the red. That was crazy.
And I spent it all under fentanyl.
Took my heart, you took my fucking life. Took my pride, you took my mind. Took who I am and turned to vice. Took my fam, I burned the price. And now I stand on murder time, and all my plans have turned to ice. I burn in fire, build this pyre higher.
Bro,
I'm wired in this dopamine, get higher. Still a broken fiend, supplier of the hopeless dreams. When it's all smoke, the only rope's the one that chokes. Will they remember me? Take all my memories and light them on this fire. Fire for the crooked dealer, he who packaged hate. Fire for that greedy villain, he who had it laced. Fire for my future, that look on my father's face. My mother's still in tears, my cousin, he's too far away. When they told me to get help, and yes, I tried again. But in the end, we're all just veins. And in the end, it came to veins. And in the end, I died in vain. And in the end, I tried to fuck it.
Bro, the veins line, because in the end we're all just veins, like a vein of ore or like mining that you go to for resources, so that's other people using us for their resources, like digging into us for our money. And then we're finding our veins because then we're paying them to get something to inject into our veins, and then it's all in vain because it seems like it's all falling apart and it's all not even worth it in the end. Bro, that was some fire wordplay. Holy, oh my god, I want to hear that one more time.
Hate, fire for that greedy villain, he who had it laced. Fire for my future, that look on my father's face. My mother's still in tears, my cousin, he's too far away. When they told me to get help, and yes, I tried again, but in the end, we're all just veins. And in the end, it came to veins, and in the end, I died in vain. And in the end, I tried to fuck it.
Oh, bro. Bro.
Oh, God.
Jesus, man. Wow. Oh my god. What a powerful song, and obviously the lyrics are amazing, but the imagery, the feeling of it, especially at the end where it's like that's all those thoughts that provoke that sadness deep inside, and that's why he's battling at the end, is all those negatives in his life that push him to actually go and get more of the fentanyl, which is where that whole thing starts. And it's like, truly, for a lot of people, it's not like they're choosing this path because they want to. They're choosing this path because it's the only way to avoid all the other pains and suffering that they're going through. And it gives them that sense of relief, that sense of distance from all the pains in your life. And you're not chasing the high of the drug, you're chasing the release of the pain. But it comes in the form of the drug. And it's that tragedy that leads to that addiction, because you get addicted to that distance from you and your suffering. And unfortunately, it leads you down this path that can end in this tragedy. And it's so perfectly encapsulated in the song, because even in the end here, we end up kind of almost like face to face with the devil, where it's all red, and we're now facing down the fire of our own problems, our own addictions. And that's why we get that red tint. And he even says he lights the pyre. And that's such a, oh my god, it was all so good. It was all so good. And I love the parallels that it has to so many different things, like addiction to power, addiction to fame, addiction to money, like that kind of idea, and how it all leads back to these, like, the real crux of the problem is usually something internal that needs to be dealt with. And that's all the things that we heard at the end from Knox. And holy, bro, that was so good. That was so good. I hope that you enjoy it too, and I hope that like anyone suffering, please remember, as was said in the video, you are not alone. People suffer from addiction, but you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to get through that on your own. And in fact, it's so much harder if you try to do it on your own. So reach out to people you love, reach out to us, reach out to anyone that you feel you need to get to a position where you're feeling better than you have before. And you will, as long as you strive for it. I hope that your week was better than your day, your month was better than your week, and your year was better than your month. Love you all, and I will see you on the next one.